Hi, I'm Mike Kunz, the conservation ecologist here at the North Carolina Botanical Garden. One plant that I think is really special from the southeastern coastal plain is Venus flytraps. It's endemic to only the Carolinas. It's the only place in the world where you can find that plant in the wild, even though you can probably find it and recognize it from just about anywhere in the world. One of the things that makes it so recognizable is that it has a trap that it uses to actively catch insects. And it uses those insects to supplement the nutrients that it doesn't get from growing really poor nutrient soils in these wet savannas. The trap is something that is a focus of a lot of research on Venus flytraps, and with good reason. It's really interesting. It's something that's fascinated botanists for hundreds of years. But it wasn't until recently that there's really been a flurry of activity into understanding the research of the ecology of Venus flytrap. This is a species that's rare and becoming more rare, and it's something that we're trying to understand more and more every day. And currently there's a whole set of researchers across North Carolina and elsewhere that are researching things like its effects of fire on Venus flytraps and climate change, the genetics, and even the pollinators. Like all flowering plants, Venus flytrap and other carnivorous plants need insects for pollinators. They move the pollen around to increase diversity and to make seeds so that they can have new generations of these exquisite plants. So Venus flytraps and all carnivorous plants have a dilemma because they need the pollinators to spread pollen around and help keep genetic diversity in their populations and make seeds to recruit new individuals, but they also rely on those insects as prey to supplement their nutrients. So one of the things that we worked on here at the garden is we were part of a large team that did research on this predator-prey dilemma in Venus flytraps. We went out into the swamps and the savannas of eastern North Carolina, and we collected pollinators and observed their behavior, as well as opened the traps to see what it was that they were eating. As a result of this research, we found out that Venus flytrap actually doesn't eat its pollinators, which is probably a good thing, and that there is these separations in carnivorous plants between what they eat and what pollinates them. So one of the ways that we think that carnivorous plants don't eat their pollinators is to separate in either space or time where or when they flower. So some may put flowers out before they have any sort of active traps going on and collecting prey. In Venus flytrap though, they're flowering at the same time that traps are active. So what they probably are doing is setting up a large flowering stalk that sticks up about 15 inches above the ground, maybe a little less, which is much above the traps. So the pollinators are flying in and out of the flowers, while their prey are mostly crawling insects, spiders, ants, and beetles. Here's a graph from our research paper. It shows a network. On the top you can see all of the species, the different lines and the different colors represent different species of pollinators that we found. On the bottom are the insects that we found and the traps. And then you can see here in the middle on this network that there's very little overlap between the pollinators that visit and the insects that we find in the traps. If you haven't ever seen Venus flytraps in flower, it's coming up on a time of year where it's a great time to go out to these coastal plain savannas, to see Venus flytraps in the wild, and to see them flowering and observe some pollinators. Damon, if you've never done it, Green Swamp is a great place to go check this out.